Hi everybody, I'm Neil, this is Neil's Meals. Tonight we're going to do something I've never done before. Cashew chicken. So I have these boneless chicken breasts here and this was something I could do with them. So let me get a knife. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is sort of, and here I'll do this so you can see what I'm doing, although you're kind of at the side, but I'm going to take a chicken breast. I'm going to trim off the little pieces that, I don't necessarily want to eat, the little fat pieces. Oh, thank you, Jay Fries. I really appreciate it. It's hard to believe I've known you that long, for 4 months. Okay. So you just want to trim off the little weird little things off the chicken. I mean, I'm not too worried about the fat because it will render out in the pan usually. And then we want to slice these at about 3/4 of an inch. So that I think I might want to cut these in half. So what I'm going to do here before I continue is cut this in half. You're supposed to need about 1.5 pounds, and I got about 2 pounds here. That's about 1 inch, not 1.5 inches, but it'll be fine. All right, we need a bowl to put these in. So we'll put them in the bowl. And then we have these 2 smaller ones. I don't like the way that looks. Otherwise, this one looks pretty good. Maybe cut off that little flap. And we'll just go on and do the same thing with that. I might leave these together because this one is thinner. No, I'll probably still cut them. All right, and then we have this last one here. And again, I'm just going to trim off anything that doesn't look great or is just a weird little flap. This one looks pretty good. Maybe this here. Okay. And again, that is so thin, I'm just going to cut it as its own piece. And then we will all right, and then we'll turn them and just cut those in half. Some of those are a little longer than I meant, but it'll be fine. All right, so we've got the chicken in there. Excuse me for just a second. Sorry about that. I just like to put this kind of stuff in an old baggie. Thank you, Dark Passenger, for watching my stream this many times. I appreciate it. Now, normally I would be all weird about having cut chicken on this board, but everything else I'm going to cut is going to be cooked. So I think it's okay. Let me wash my hands, take this plate. Always wash your hands after handling chicken. You got a letter from your insurance company. Oh, lymphedema. You've got a fluid pill. I wonder what happened that they had to do a recall on it. Just wipe that off. All right. So, to this bowl, we're going to add, I need a tablespoon. What happened to my tablespoon measure? There's a tablespoon. Right, I need 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. One tablespoon of sherry, which I bought just for this occasion. I've never had sherry before. I've never used it, so I look forward to using it in some more recipes. This is not an expensive sherry. In fact, it's an American sherry. It smells like wine. One tablespoon of dry sherry. Smells like wine. I would talk to your doctor, Merrick, and see if they can give you a different pill. And a tablespoon of toasted sesame oil. And I think I need 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. So I've got some cornstarch here. And I will put in, we'll use the other end of this to put some in. 1. And 2. All right. Let's put this back on. And so we're going to stir this together. You want it all covered with everything. You want to get it all combined. Smells good. And just so y'all can see it, that's what that looks like. And then in another bowl, I have another bowl, we're going to do 1/3 cup of hoisin. So I've got some hoisin sauce here, and I'm going to use my little thing here that makes it easy to measure stuff like this. That's kind of sticky and thick. Hope y'all are all doing well. Sorry, I'm concentrating more on this recipe because I haven't made this. And I don't want to do something like I did with that coffee cake and forget something. That looks like 1/3 cup to me. So we'll put that in there. And we'll push that off. What else goes in here? 1/3 cup of water. You can get 1/3 cup of water easy. Got a measurement right here. That's about 1/3 cup of water. We need 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, so we can do that. Sorry about that sound. That's someone on Facebook. My little thing is a little plugged up. Sometimes you gotta get a toothpick and punch through it. You usually don't use this much of this kind of stuff at once. I'm going to say that's close enough. Some of it went in. This stuff stains really bad. Let me get it up. All right. Sorry, I made a little bit of a mess here. All right. Oops, it's on my hands now too. Gosh, just making a mess. Okay. Now I've got this together. I think there's one other thing that goes in this. 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. So to do that, I'm going to do this. I've got a little tiny measurement thing here. And put in 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, which I think I have enough here. If not, I have another bottle. Almost. I'd say that's it. All right. So there's one thing I should do that I haven't done yet. And we're going to do now. And that's make rice. So I have that set up over here. So you'll see me in the edge doing it. I hope y'all are all doing well. And I'm sorry I haven't been streaming as much, but we've just got so much going on here. Oh, that's weird. What on earth? I don't have time to deal with this right now. All right. So I'm just going to do my rice in an Instant Pot. So we're going to do a 1.5 cups of rice, and I'm going to rinse it off. Probably should have done that before. Goodness. Everything is just coming out at me. Oh my. This is the kind of drama people go for, isn't it? We'll just use this one. Here, I'll come over here for this. We'll put this over here. Put this over here so y'all see what I'm doing. And all right. All right. So, you know, you serve this over white rice like you would do any sort of Chinese dish. The white rice I have right now is basmati, so I'm going to use basmati, which is really Indian, but it should be fine for this purpose. Nope. All right, so that's 1 cup, and I need, the least I can do in this thing is 1.5. So you can toast the rice a bit in some oil and then it won't clump up, or you can do what I'm going to do and you can rinse it off. So I put that rice in there. I'm going to rinse it under cold running water until it, runs mostly clear. So let me take that over to the sink. I need sink cam. My sink is usually so gross you don't want to look at it. Never get a white sink. All right, so the way I can tell it's running clear is the water runs through it, hits the silver band of the drain, and I can sort of see the cloudiness in there. All right. All right, that looks good. I'll just catch my hand under it and plop it in there. I've sprayed some oil in the bottom, so that should be all right. And we will... I've got the water measured out already, so I'm going to pour that in. And we will just put this in and cook this for Let me wipe this off a little bit. It's got a little water run down it. I don't want to hit the electronics when it's wet. We're going to do about 5 minutes. Should do white rice just fine in here. All right. So probably should have started with that, but you know, too soon old, too late smart. Free meals. Well, you know, we have to pay. This is free only in that we've already paid for the ingredients already. All right. So I've got this stirred up. Let me stir it up. And this is sort of a stir fry kind of situation. So you kind of want to have this stuff done, you know, before you go to cook it. All right, I'm going to set these over here and these over here. I'm going to need that cup in a minute. And we're going to go back to our board here. And I need to cut up some vegetables, which won't take very long. So I've got some celery here. It calls for 2 ribs of celery. These are kind of thin, so I'm using 2.5 basically. All right, and let me, yeah. All right, and then we're gonna cut that end off and that end, and we're going to cut it 1/4 inch on the bias, which just means diagonally. And I'm not good at even slices sometimes, so some of mine are a little thicker and some of them are a little thinner, but it'll work. It's just food. All right, we'll move that off. We'll take that off and do I always do that. Don't quite slice it enough. All right. Hey Arcade Castle, hope you're well too. I'm making cashew chicken. We've just been busy trying to pack up, do things to the house, because we're looking at moving. And that means, you know, you have to sell your shit. All right. And we'll just do this. And maybe we'll only do part of this. So I'm sorry I haven't been streaming as much as I'd like, but sometimes we're just in the middle of something, or sometimes, you know, after doing a bunch of stuff, you just feel dead. All right, I think that's enough celery there. So I'm going to move that off to that edge, and we'll just not deal with the rest of that. And then I've got some scallions, or green onions. And so you're going to cut the tails off. And I can hear the Instant Pot already. And so you're going to cut these thinly. All right, and then we're gonna do these with a different knife on a paper towel, because these go in at the end. All right, so we've got those. So we've got all our veg ready. Thanks, Arcade Castle. That's nice of you. And so the first thing we're going to do now that we've got all our stuff prepped, well, we're not totally prepped, actually. But I think I can do that stuff when it's going on. I pulled out this thing. Yep, I'll need that. And I'll need that. All right. So, let's do this. And we're going to try to pull this over. Hopefully this cord isn't too twisted. Let's see how I did. Sorry if this is driving y'all crazy. Okay, so y'all can see that. So we're going to take about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. We're going to turn our pan on medium heat. So we'll put it on medium heat, and we're going to add about 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3 of vegetable oil. And I'm using a safflower oil. Just any neutral oil. You could use avocado oil if you want. So you're going to heat that oil, and you're going to add some cashews to it. We need a cup of raw cashews. So I've got some raw cashews here, and I've got a cup. And we'll pour in. Whoop. Not very many left, but all right, so we're going to let that heat up, and then we'll put in these cashews. I'll do something with those later. Okay. I'm going to need a slotted spoon and a bowl to put those in when they're done. It's been very weird to be here because we've They've told us to take like pretty much everything you would normally use and put it somewhere else. Do not leave anything sitting out. And it's driving me crazy because sometimes I can't remember where I put it. That's the thing about getting older. You don't remember as you once did. All right. I'm waiting for the oil to shimmer, so it hasn't quite done that yet. Where am I? Where are you? Who are you? What are we doing? I'm a freak. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. All right. Oh, I'm going to need that, actually. All right. So the rice is basically done cooking, and now it's going to do the cool down. I want to show you all these crazy huge garlic cloves I have. I've never seen ones this big. They're like mutants. I'm going to have to cut them up to put them into my garlic crusher. Cut those into each of those into 4 pieces. It said 2 cloves of garlic. That's probably more like 4, but it'll be fine. All right. So I'm going to say this oil is warm enough, and I'm going to put these cashews in. And you want to stir the cashews pretty constantly. This may not be warm enough, but you're cooking them. You're toasting them in the oil, and this is what they would do to them. You know, if you went to Planters and got some in a can, this is basically what they do to them. They probably do it in an oven, but they, put them in some oil. And they just cook them. Unless you get dry roasted, Dry roasted, they're roasting them in a dry oven. I don't think you really want to get a lot of color on these. Let me pull out the recipe here. I have to actually follow the recipe. Stirring constantly until golden brown, 4 to 6 minutes. Reducing heat if they get too much color too soon. I think I'm going to set a timer here. We'll do 4 minutes, just so it doesn't get away from me. And you can see they're sort of cooking, kind of going around in the oil. And a lot of people don't try not to use oil. But oil does something other than carrying flavor and fat. Kind of smells like popcorn. Some of these are starting to get some color here. Oil carries heat. If you just put stuff in a pan dry, it will heat up. You're also probably transferring flavor of these cashews into this oil. And they are starting to get some color. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. It's like a half one. I think I should take that one out. Let me put that over there. Sometimes you have to lift it off the heat. Because you definitely don't want to burn them. Alright. I almost think these are about done. Some of them look a little pale, but I have a feeling they've just not flipped over. Yep. Yep. They are fragrant, though. I'm going to do the rest of this off the heat here. Alright, so I think I'm going to take these out. Sorry about the scraping, but I needed a spotted spoon. Sorry about all this noise. This was just the closest slotted spoon I had at hand. Alright, yes, I'm already doing it. Alright. So you want it to sort of leave the oil in the pan. I'm going to stir those around. That one probably got a little too done. I think he got too done. We're going to take him out. The rest of these I think are okay. Well, except for that one maybe, which also looks like he got a little too done. Not him. Him. So we'll take him out too. Alright, so we've got this oil still in the pan. And I'm just going to, maybe I should have put those on some, I don't know. Alright. And so now what we're going to do is heat up this leftover oil until it's pretty hot. So I'm going to turn it up to not quite medium high, because in this pan is dark, so it heats up a little faster. And we're going to put the chicken in. And while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to crush this garlic onto a little plate. Here, let me turn around and do this so I'm facing y'all. All right. And I'm going to need this and this. All right, so I'm going to crush this garlic. Because you want it ready. And I will take my little thing that I have here and just scrape it off of my thing here. And I'm going to need some ginger. Okay, so that chicken, that is starting to smoke. So I'm going to put this chicken in, this liquid. All right, so I'm going to give that a minute, turn it down just a little bit so I can grind some ginger. All right. These pieces are probably a little too big. It's okay. Put the bigger pieces in the middle. Give it a couple minutes. I'll put this bowl over here. All right, so I've got my ginger. That looks like about a teaspoon of ginger. All right. You can see it's getting some color on it. Turn it down just a bit. All right. Oops. I think this is all enough. Done enough. Alright. So we're going to turn that down just a little bit, and now we're going to add the celery. The scallion whites. There's some green there because it was that sort of transitional area. And then the ginger and the garlic. Oh God, that smells great. All right. And you just sort of cook that for a little bit. Letting the celery soften a bit. Let that cook. Yeah, the chicken can get away from me if you're not careful. Okay. I'm going to put these over here because we add those at the same time. You're also supposed to throw in some crushed red pepper flakes, and I got some out, but I'm just going to use white pepper because I don't like crushed red pepper. Okay. So now we add this hoisin sauce. Or the sauce we made with hoisin, and we need to bring that to a boil. And you want to coat everything in it. That needs to come to a boil. Cook until chicken is cooked through and sauce is thickened, 1 to 3 minutes. All right, so that's, driving off a little moisture. I'll give it a little more of that. Yeah, I'm not using crushed red pepper, I'm sorry. If y'all want to use crushed red pepper, y'all can do it. I'm not doing it. So you don't want to overcook it, right? But you're looking for it to thicken some. And you're looking for the chicken to be done. That chicken seems pretty done. And you can tell it's thickening a little bit because the bubbles are staying longer. So as something thickens, the bubbles kind of hang around a little longer. And as this cools some, it will thicken some more. So I think we'll just give it a minute. So we'll let this cook and simmer for a minute. Oops, sorry. And see if we can get this to thicken some. It's picking up a little bit. This burner is a little janky, I guess is the term I would use. Okay. All right. I'm going to say that's probably about enough. Yep. All right. So when you can pull it through and it doesn't quite come back together, I would say that it's thickened enough. Like I said, it will continue to thicken after you pull it off the heat. Let's pull this over just a little bit here. Yep. All right. So I'm going to take this out of the way and escaped cashew. And we're going to take that off the heat there for a minute. And then we're going to stir in the cashews and the scallions. And we'll just stir those through. Probably wait till the end so the cashews stay a little crunchy. All right, so that's cashew chicken. All right, so I'm going to put this over here, push this off over here, put this back here. Okay. Now, this is the rice. And I don't know if you've ever heard, plump your rice up with a fork, but this is what they mean, fluff your rice. Bring it, kind of bring it apart. Declump it. I didn't season this rice any because I figure it should be good enough seasoned with the stuff we're going to put on it. So I'm going to set that there for a second. Actually, right there. And I'm going to get 2 plates. Because this is all pretty hot, so that's why I'm serving it on a plate. So we're going to take, I don't know, a couple scoops of rice maybe. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Just lay down a bed of rice. All right. And we'll put that. And I'm going to use I think I have one that's slotted. I don't know how much of the sauce you're going to want, so I'm going to use a slotted spoon and just put some of this. What would help if I got it in the middle, wouldn't it? This recipe should feed 4 people, so we might have some extra here. Oops. Let me give some more cashews to that one. So that's that. I'm giving us probably a little more. It appears I got some over in the edge. And where's my phone? We need to take the picture. You know, the picture. All right. All right. So I've got, a couple pictures here. All right. So I've made dinner. So this will be the end of my stream. Sorry it's so short, but this was just sort of a short meal to make. This looks great. It smells great. I'm sure it's going to taste great. I'm going to post this along with, the video of this on my Discord. Or those are my socials. That's my Discord. I'll post this under Neil's Meals. There's your meals where you can post anything you've found that's wonderful that you've made or that you've eaten in a restaurant. I love seeing those from y'all. Thank you for any subscriptions I've gotten or any bits. Just anything at all. Even just being here. I love that you're here. I hope that I make these things approachable. I think this is pretty approachable. The key to it is to make, to have all your ingredients prepped and then cook it. As you can see, once you started cooking, it didn't take very long. I should be back maybe next weekend, maybe Tuesday. I'm really not sure. At some point, I'm probably going to have to cut this until we move, just because it's hard to hide this stuff in the house, and I may need to just pack it up. But I will be back. I love all of y'all. Oh, that's right. I'm going to be out on Tuesday. So no Tuesday, definitely. Maybe next Saturday. I love y'all so much. Thank you for coming. Eat something good. Take care of each other. Let's find someone to raid out to. No. No. Wow, there's just not much going on today. Let's look at my followers. We'll raid out to a game. We'll raid out to Casual Gaming. He's a friend of the stream. Yeah, it's probably because of Valentine's. That's true. So we're going to raid out to Casual Gaming, and they're playing Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. So, spoilers, I guess. Oh, Kurt Joe might be on. Let me see. There's a way to search, right? Go big truck. Says no channels found. I must have done it wrong. Oh, actually, you know what? We're going to go to the Purple Cubby because he's recently started streaming again. Let's do that. Let's go to the Purple Cubby because I can remember him streaming before. Thank you so much for coming to visit. I love having you all here. Y'all are my favorite. I love doing this. I will be back as soon as I can with another meal or another baked good. I'm going to send y'all over to the Purple Cubby. Y'all have a good night and a good weekend. Happy Valentine's Day.